All right, here, guys. What we're going to talk about now is, how to create a tessellation. And this is a tessellation which are created here in Sketchpad. All right. And what it is what a tessellation is it's a series of congruent polygons, okay, that all kind of fit snugly one right into the other, as you can see. Okay, now also, as you might see here, is if I reshape one figure, okay, then they all change accordingly, okay? If I pull on and rechange one figure, they all change accordingly so that they all dovetail fit one inside of the other. And what we have is once we create one, we translate it left or right, up or down, so that they all fit together, okay? And so when I come back, I'm going to show you how we can create this and how you will create it for our assignment in class, okay? So we're back and we're going to show you how to start creating this tessellation. Tessellation is going to start with a parallelogram. Now, a parallelogram is a four-sided figure with two sets of parallel sides. So I'm starting simply with a line segment. Then I'm going to put a point somewhere not on that line segment. I'm going to choose to take the segment that I have and the point, and I'm going to choose to construct a parallel. Okay. Now I'm going to so this upper parallel is going to be the other side of my four-sided figure, which is going to be a parallelogram. I'm now going to draw a segment. Let's put some labels here if we could. Okay, I'm now going to draw a segment from A to C. Okay, and now what I'm going to do with that segment, highlight it, and my point B, highlight it. Okay, I'm going to construct another parallel, and then I'm going to find the points of intersection between these two, and I'm going to label that, of course, as my point D. All right, so that's point D. Okay, all right, now I should have a parallelogram now. All right, I should have a parallelogram now. The parallelogram is such that, okay, when you pull on one side or one point, you maintain the parallel. Now what I'm going to do is I want to get rid of these lines so that I just have the segments. So I'm going to put a line segment over top of these, connecting points C and D, and connecting points D and B. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to hide these dotted lines. So I can just right-click and hide those, okay? Right-click and hide that, okay? So now here's my parallelogram. You'll need to know how to create the parallelogram. This could be a square or a rhombus sometimes, but it's always such that AB and CD are parallel, as is AC and BD, okay? So that's the second stage. We'll come back in a moment and show you how we start creating the tessellation. All right, now to come back to start building the tessellation, I'm going to click my segment and I'm going to create a kind of jagged edge over here, something like that, connecting A and C through this series of jagged edges, if you will, okay? And it don't matter if you want to put another jag in there, that's fine. It really doesn't matter much, okay? Now that that's going to be my edge, I can come back and I can hide that segment CD. So this is my edge. Now what I want to do is that edge, because the figures need to dovetail, they need to slide right into place of the other, I want to carry that edge over to the side BD here. I want to carry that edge over to the side BD. So that's going to be a translation. So I'm going to have to define my vector. So I'm going to select point A and then B. You got to select them in that order, A then B. And then I'm going to transform. I'm going to say mark the vector. Okay, so that's marking the direction which is jagged edge is going to shift. But now I have to select that jagged edge. So I should select the segments and the points defining it, okay? And with that done, I'm going to now translate that to the other side there, okay? Now I'm going to opt to translate that. That's fine, okay? Now I can come back and I can hide this segment BD, okay? And so now I have two jagged edges. The jagged edge from D to B is the same as the jagged edge from A to C, okay? And you can see that by moving anything, that the other corresponding part is going to move, okay? So get that in any which way you like, okay? If I move this point on the right, the left is going to change. Now, okay, now we're going to do the same thing for our side AB. Again, I'm going to put a little jagged edge from A to B, okay, with a series of segments. Maybe that'll do it, okay? All right, doesn't matter. It's up to you how jagged you want it, how many little segments you want it. That's totally up to you, okay? But however you decide, you need to decide for it at this stage right now, okay? So we'll get something like that, I guess. That's fine. I'm now going to hide the segment AB, okay? And I'm going to, now this bottom jagged side needs to be translated up to CD. So I'm going to, again, mark my vector from B to D, mark the vector, select B, transform, mark the vector, okay? Then select the entire jagged piece from A to B, segment for segment, point for point, okay? I have to get all segments, all points, defining that jagged edge, all right? Okay. And then I'm going to translate that upward, okay? And there it goes. Choose to translate. There it is, okay? And now I can come back and I can hide that straight segment, okay? That is CD, okay? So now there's the basis of my my polygon. This polygon, what I want to do probably is construct a polygon interior, which means I got to select all the points in order, okay? In the order, going around clockwise or counterclockwise, just making sure you select all the points in order. And then I'm going to construct the polygon interior and have that be whatever color I want it to be. Okay, now, all right, now that's my base figure. I'll be back in just a minute to show you how we start making our tessellation. Okay, I'm ready to start making my tessellation. Now the tessellation has got to be that, you know, this figure is going to be duplicated and fit snugly in over to the right side, okay, or over to the left side, above and below. So in other words, let's suppose I wanted to fill in this triangular piece right here. Now which side of that would fill it in? Well, that looks like, okay, this piece right along here. So I'm going to choose to mark a vector from this point over to this point, okay? I'm going to choose to transform, mark my vector, and then I'm going to select my whole polygon, and then I'm going to choose to transform and translate. And there it snaps right into place, nice and neat, okay? I'll opt to do my translation. I'll select this and maybe color it something different, okay? So as it stands out. Likewise, I'm going to continue to do that, okay? So now I'm going to want to translate the original figure upward to fill in this section up here. Fill in this section where C begins. It looks like this will fill that in. So I'm going to choose to translate from this point to this point, transform, mark the vector, okay? And then again, selecting the entire polygon. And in fact, I could probably select both of these polygons and transform them both together. Translate them both together. That kind of worked out nicely for me. Okay, translate that. Okay, and I'm going to keep this process up until I've got the figure, however many of these I want. I'm going to try to fill out the page to some extent. Let's translate downward now, okay, or translate to the left, okay. So I'm going to say, well, this, let's say I want to move this yellow polygon over to here, because it looks like I need to fill in there. So what's going to, where you got to think ahead of how you're going to mark the vector, and if you mark it wrong, no big deal. You just come back and correct it. Let me select that and do another color for that. Let's do green, okay? And this one, I don't want any two adjacent figures to be of the same color. So that's one of the things I'm going to put as a restriction on this, okay? Now let's do one or two more translations, and then you'll be on your own to do this, okay? So I'm going to choose to translate, mark my vector from this point to this point, mark vector, okay? And then, you know, like I said, I could select this polygon. I could select both of these. I could select all of them, okay? And choose to you know, why don't I just select all of them with a big box around them, okay? And choose to transform, translate, transform, translate. And that should be a nice fit right there, okay? So now I'm starting to build my, my tessellation. Okay, and again, I would say maybe I do one more. Okay, I do one more. I'm going to move, translate from this point to here. So I'm going to mark my vector, transform, mark vector, and I'm just going to select everything, take everything I have, and I'm going to transform, translate now. Okay, translate. Choose to translate, and that's going to be a nice tessellation. Okay. Again, I might want to just check to see that no two figures are next to each other, have the same color. So that might be a little bit of a job to do. It shouldn't take too much. Okay. And let's do a brown. Okay. So here we got it. Here we got a nice tessellation. And again, if we grab on any point, okay, we grab on any point, we're going to reshape this, and maybe you want to shape it into something, I don't know, whatever you're fancy on that, to create a nice little polygonal tessellation, which is all a series of interlocking polygons, of congruent interlocking polygons, and that's your first your first tessellation. Okay.